Hi, she's Phyllis,
And he's Mario. Welcome to LaTabella, the table.
our kitchen table where good friends and family gather to share all that life has to offer, especially good food that everyone can enjoy. Today's menu is a bit nostalgic for me. It's a couple of the dishes that my mom made for me and for Phyllis that we like, that we're particularly fond of. The pasta course will be gnocchi. We've just been over a lesson on how to say gnocchi. It's a tough word. And we're doing a ricotta gnocchi today. And my mother had a great way of doing simple, inexpensive dish, chicken thighs. But she pan roasted them with the simplest of ingredients, salt, pepper, olive oil, and onion. And the flavor was remarkable. All my life, I try to duplicate it.
I know,
Phyllis can attest.
I've tried myself. I don't know if it was the pans that she was using. Our pans are different today. The water maybe tastes different. The chicken maybe is fed different things than it was fed those many years ago, but we've never been able to exactly duplicate her recipe. And we're not going to try to. We're just going to follow kind of a rough guideline today.
I think maybe there's something came out of her hands, those old, ancient, gnarly hands. My hands are starting to get there. They're getting a little crooked, so maybe I'll be able to do it next year. And we're going to round out the meal with grilled vegetables that Phyllis is going to prepare for us.
I've prepared some summer things, summer veggies I call them, some from my garden and some from some local merchants right here in Lunenburg. Sauce, you made sauce.
Oh yeah, well, the sauce we pulled tomato sauce from the gnocchi. If you remember when I made tomato sauce in a couple of previous episodes, I made small quantities. Truth is, when I make it, I'm going to make a big quantity and I'm going to put several containers in the freezer and bring those out for a later date. And that's what we're doing today. I'm just pulling out one of those. Our basic tomato sauce. Not very complicated. Hi, we've left LaTabella, our kitchen table, and we're here at Elena's Gourmet Grocery. And we're here to talk to Elena about wine pairings with the meal that we're going to prepare tonight. So let's go in and talk to Elena.
So this one is a roscato, which is a rosso dolce, and when you hear the word dolce, that means sweet. So this has got a little bit of a bubble to it. It's low in alcohol. Italians really like to have this after a heavy meal because it's low in alcohol. It's just something to sip on that's sweet without being too overwhelming. Bruschetta di acqui, same style. Beautiful in the bottle. It's this beautiful cherry color. It's got a little bit of fizz to it and also low in alcohol. The last Italian dessert wine I have is Moscato d'Asti. This is very popular. A lot of people come in for it. It's white, it's bubbly, and again, a very, very nice dessert wine without the high alcohol content.
This is a great shop. There's lots of items here, specialty items. We probably don't have enough time to go through all of them, but if we're talking an Italian theme, and I'm always talking an Italian theme, she has imported pastas, she has tomato sauces that are already prepared and ready to heat and serve. You know, I cook my own, and I would encourage you to try it, but if you don't have time, then certainly try Elena's. Elena's got a nice case of cheeses. This is a refrigerated case.
Yes,
it's cool.
Yep.
And some meats. Oh man, soppressata. Can't go wrong with soppressata.
The young, unaged buffalo cheese, just slice it. And what's that called, Mario?
Mozzarella di bufala.
Yeah, there you go. So easy, simple, and very, very delicious.
I didn't know you carried that.
Yeah. So of course I have the Reggiano, a must, right, in Italian house.
You can't cook Italian unless you have a wedge of Parmigiano Reggiano.
Right.
The domestic stuff really doesn't work on top of pasta, grated and
Right,
sprinkled on
yeah.
pasta. If you're going to cook it inside a dish and it's going to melt and permeate, you might be able to get away with some of the less expensive domestic brands, but you got to buy a good one.
Okay.
And this is where you get the good stuff here.
Right.
You
And-
stop in to Elena's and get on her email list because she has some great news for us. She has great wine tasting, and this is done big here at Elena's. There are lots of distributors come in with lots of wines, and Elena and Paul put together a delicious meal, food that's really good. There's a fee for it, but I can tell you, you'll be very happy when you leave here. It's well worth it. Thank you very much,
Oh, you're
Elena.
welcome. Appreciate you coming.
It's my pleasure. It's always my pleasure to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you back at LaTabella. Let's get on with the gnocchi. Gnocchi. I've got 1 pound of whole milk ricotta cheese. Nothing special, bought it at the supermarket. Would it come out better if you went to a specialty cheese shop and got it? Probably, but this is pretty good because we're going to be mixing in a lot of ingredients with it. To that, I'm going to add an egg.
It's
Just gonna.
supposed to be my job.
Would you mind beating the whipping?
Thank you. I want to have something to do here.
And oh, she has plenty to do. Salt and pepper. I mix it together for a dish like this, rather than add it separately. And I'm just going to take a good pinch, put it in there. What was that? Teaspoon, maybe a little less.
Yeah, less, I'd say.
And we're going to put in the beautifully beaten eggs that Phyllis did. Thank you, cara mia Felicia.
You're welcome.
And we're going to add some grated Parmigiano. Do you need to spend the money for the imported Parmigiano Reggiano for this dish? Well, probably not. It'll be a little bit better if you do, but this is a domestic Parmigiano, and you tell me after you try the recipe if you like it. So that's about what, a couple of tablespoons, 2 or 3 tablespoons with a pound of ricotta cheese. Chopped parsley, fresh parsley, purchased at a local farm stand. And we're going to put in 2-3 tablespoons. Mix that little bad boy up. Oh, before I go, a little nutmeg.
The secret
Don't you?
ingredient,
Yeah.
right?
Don't you love this thing? It's got a blade down here. It's got a nutmeg. What is it? A nut, a ball, or something down here with a spring. There's a few spear balls that hang around, and you just turn it and grate it.
Do you remember where you got that?
I do. Somebody who loves me bought it for me for Christmas, I think, one year.
He's a gadget guy. He loves
Love
kitchen
my
gadgets.
gadgets.
So I never go wrong if I go into a store, a kitchen store, the department store that has kitchen stuff, and pick him up something that he doesn't already have. Now, after all these years, it's getting tougher because he's got just about everything.
Time to replace some of those things. Do you remember where you got that?
Somewhere in a kitchen store at Burlington Mall. At the time, we were living on the North Shore, and one of the specialty shops at the Burlington Mall. I picked it up there. Yeah.
All-purpose flour. It's no need to use that famous semolina durum wheat, hard wheat flour for this dish. In fact, that might make the gnocchi a little chewy. When you're making gnocchi, you want to be thinking dumpling, not pasta. Pasta dough, you want to work hard, build up the gluten, have it so that when you cook the pasta, it stays together in a long strand. This is really a dumpling.
Light and delicate.
Light and delicate.
Yeah,
So
I would say.
that's not nearly enough for what I have here. So we'll be reaching out and grabbing some more, and now I'm just gonna spread that out and put the ricotta cheese with all the accoutrements mix it right in with the flour. I usually start off with about equal parts of ricotta cheese and flour. So you tell me what you think might make that equal. 1 scoop?
Yeah,
Right
I
on
would say
top?
probably, yeah. All right.
Yep. How you do this is it's not too fussy, it's not too specific, it's just a matter of using the bench scraper.
The bench scraper. Can you tell us? I know why it's called a bench scraper, but maybe some of the people out there don't know that.
Because it scrapes. Bakers use it, and in the bakery, the wooden work table is, they refer to it as a bench. So this is the bench scraper, to scrape all the goodness that sticks to it with the various doughs in. And this is coming together nicely. And again, we're looking for a texture that's, you don't want to work it too much, number one. Number two is, because it'll get tough. Number two is finding the right amount of, or proportion of flour to moist items, dry to moist. Too much flour and they're going to be a bit chewy after they're boiled and cooked.
You're not making bread here. You're making a dumpling. You want it to be light, and you want everything mixed, but you want to handle it as little as possible to get that light texture.
Well, it's a little moist as it absorbs, but it's okay because as we work with this and shape the gnocchi, we're going to be adding more flour to it as we go along. So that's what we do. We correct it as we go along. So we're ready to roll and shape the dough, which is the first step in making the gnocchi shapes. I like to roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to do it a little differently than most people who make gnocchi do it. And I learned this as a sort of a more efficient way of doing it when we were making pasta commercially. And we're not going to quite do it at the speed of light like we had to when we had a shop, but you couldn't keep up with us if we did. So I'm going to just cut a bunch of strips. You could use a knife, but since I have the bench scraper here, that's what I'm going to use. Each strip roughly the same width, but that's not the most important thing because we can make up for that as we cut and roll the gnocchi into the preferred gnocchi shape. And there are lots of different shapes for gnocchis or different ways of shaping them. Most people will take one of these strips or a piece of dough and they'll roll it out and get it to the right diameter and
Like a rope.
like a rope, yeah. I don't really think you need to do that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. That strip was a little fat, which is why I took the time to stretch it out. But you can see I'm not, all different sizes and shapes here. We're going to take care of that. It's not going to be a problem.
My mother-in-law taught me how to roll out one of the gnocchi when I was a very young bride, many, many years ago. Her and I use 3 fingers to do it because we have small hands. Mario normally uses 2 fingers. But I would take these 3 middle fingers and I would just take them gently and start at the outer end and just gently, without much pressure, press on it and roll it at the same time so that it just comes out like a little, I don't know if you can see that, like that.
Most people, I think most people, when they think of
That.
gnocchi or make gnocchi, think about potato gnocchi. That's potato being the wet ingredient as opposed to ricotta cheese. I got to tell you, I make potato gnocchi and they sit in my stomach for days. They're like little bullets sitting in my stomach. They're so heavy. And no matter what I do, I can't seem to lighten them up. I've recently watched somebody on TV make them and did a different technique. It's that I think might improve the texture of the potato gnocchi. But I've grown so fond of ricotta, and another one that I love very much is a winter squash, a butternut squash, a pumpkin gnocchi, where you substitute pureed or whipped or mashed pumpkin or squash instead of ricotta cheese. I'm going to brush some flour on the fork. And is this a good position? I'm going to put the little lump of dough there. And again, as Phyllis mentioned, I'm the 2-finger guy. Lightly press down, pull toward me. Don't try to go all the way off, otherwise it'll stretch and rip. Roll it over with my finger. My finger. There is an R in there, but we're in Massachusetts. Don't necessarily have to pronounce it. You can see my fingerprints in there. The CSI are going to be able to track me down from these. And I don't know how well those are going to come out, but the tines of the fork have left grooves on there that some people like.
I don't know if I can do that. I can try.
I think they're okay. I think they
Oh,
afford.
mine is better than yours. Look at that. I'm an expert.
Yeah, but it's stuck to the. Well, it is
Oh.
good, but it's stuck to the fork.
It didn't.
All right.
There you go. We better get going, or we'll be here till Christmas.
But well, why don't we call it a quits then? So there's a tray of shaped and gnocchi, and it's been generously floured because it's pretty wet. It'll tend to stick together and lump up. What I like to do is put these in the freezer. After they're frozen, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then when I'm ready to eat them, just take out as much as I want, or as little as my doctor wants me to eat, and put it into boiling salted water. So Phyllis is going to toss these into the freezer for us. No, I have a new toy, an induction cooktop, countertop cooktop.
Did that beep because you took the pan off?
Yes, yes.
Oh, not a good thing.
Oh, it's a good
Or
thing.
maybe it is a good
Yeah,
thing.
that's a safety thing. Heats up really fast. This doesn't get hot. The only heat that the cooktop absorbs is from the whatever's retained from the bottom of the pan. Sorry about that beeping. I keep forgetting that. And we're going to use this to saute some chicken thighs. Okay, the pan is heating up nicely. I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to wait for it to explode. No, it's looking good. This is my first try with this new cooktop, and actually my second. I cooked some earlier, and does a great job. It's perfect for this setup, having it here by the camera. I'm going to add some coarsely chopped onions.
Let me chop the onion while you add the chicken. How's that?
Oh, that's perfect.
Because I think
Do you want
that
your
by the time, see, it's smoking already.
Do you want your favorite knife?
You're going to be on fire. You're going to set my beautiful kitchen on fire while you're talking away.
Boy, that heats up quickly.
And I want you to know I'm using the sharp knife.
Don't
even
cut
though
yourself.
I say I never do.
Don't cut yourself.
I'll be careful.
That's good enough. Thick pieces is good.
I like that. You don't want them in half.
Yeah, you could do it in
I
half.
like them in half. Okay, there you go.
All right, thank
Yep.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Now we should get a nice sizzle. Everyone stand back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
A nice gentle sizzle. That's good. Going to let that simmer for a while, a few minutes. I've got some chicken thighs here, and I bought boneless, skinless chicken thighs. My mother did not use boneless, skinless. And that, I think, when you have the bone and the skin, it adds to the flavor. So I think we're going to sacrifice a little bit of the flavor because of this.
But people are so much more health conscious, and even the supermarkets market to that. So I think, when you find chicken thighs, 99% of the time, they already have the bones out and the skin off. I kind of like it this way because it's easier.
All right. Now we're going to brown, first sprinkle a little salt and pepper on the chicken. Both sides. Not a lot, just a little pinch. And I'm going to put them on the smooth side down because I think that would look best as that browns in the bottom of the pan.
When do you add the garlic? Are you planning to do that?
No. My mother didn't put garlic in this.
Well, why is the garlic out?
For you. For your roasted veggies. I think Phyllis wants some garlic.
A
so
little bit. I love garlic.
Phyllis always gets what she wants. You probably noticed that already. Let's see. I had that part of the fork in the raw chicken, so we're going to use this part and put just a little bit in there. I chopped the garlic, or minced the garlic, I should say, ahead of time and put it in olive oil so it can sit out for a while and won't suffer. This is a quarter of a preserved lemon. Phyllis bought me a lemon tree shortly after my mother passed away. And she bought it for me because my mom would always say to us, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. So she bought me a lemon tree, and last year we had a big crop of lemons off this little tiny Charlie Brown lemon tree. It was amazing. I made a full liter of limoncello. Remember, don't exceed your skills with a knife. If you're not practiced, try not to go too fast. Keep your fingers out of the way. Knife hurts. This knife sliced off a piece of my fingernail, made like a smiley face on my fingernail. So when I was talking and not watching carefully, so do be careful. One side is browned up. I'm trying to distribute the preserved lemon. North Africans, Moroccans, they take a lemon and they preserve it in a jar or a piece of crockery or something with lemon juice, lots of salt, nothing else. It's a big flavor, and it goes a little bit goes a long way.
It takes a while. How many weeks? It takes a couple of weeks
Oh,
in the salt.
yeah, several
and,
weeks
juices. Yeah.
for it all to. But I've had some in my fridge for over a year, and it's as long as you don't introduce some other food, some foreign matter into it. Always use clean utensils when you go in to pull out a piece of the lemon. It's pretty good. All right, I think that's done enough. I'm gonna shut this off now. And we're gonna put that into the other pot that's of chicken breasts that are in the oven, chicken thighs, excuse me, and let those cook up together. And so we're going to take a little break to do that, clean up what we've done here, and then Phyllis is going to do some grilled summer vegetables for us.
Hi there. I'm going to be grilling some summer vegetables. I've got a bunch of them that are in the oven, and they're being oven roasted, but I'm going to show you a smaller batch that I'm going to do on the cooktop, especially if it's a hot summer day and you don't want to turn your oven on. This is another alternative and a very quick and easy way to prepare the vegetables, and they taste just as delicious. I'm going to start with just a little olive oil in the pan, maybe a quarter cup. Get the pan nice and coated. It heats up pretty quickly, and I'm going to put the vegetables that I have. I did them in some chunks. And I've got a summer squash, I've got some eggplants, some red bell pepper, some cherry tomatoes from my garden, and some zucchini. But you really could use any vegetables that you want. I'm going to put these in the pan. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt and pepper. Some garlic. I love garlic. Can never have enough garlic. And my little secret, maybe it's in a cookbook somewhere, but I came up with this myself. It's just a little mixture of balsamic, olive oil, and a little salt and pepper. And I like to just put it on, coat the vegetables as they're grilling in the pan. And we'll let those brown nicely, and then we can turn them. Should be done in about 10 minutes.
Got some boiling water here set up. I'm going to put in the gnocchi. This is quite a bit. My trusty spider. Great. You can't do pasta without one of these, so get yourself one. They're cheap, they're inexpensive. I'm stirring it because I'm trying to keep it from, I want to get the outside of each gnocchi to cook to the point where it won't stick to the next one. The overhead camera can see how milky the pasta water is, and that's because of all the flour that we put onto the gnocchi, and it's being absorbed by it's going into the water. If we need to thicken the sauce that we're going to put on the gnocchi, then this is great stuff. Never throw that away until you're done with and you have your pasta and your sauce in the bowl, because this is the perfect thing to add to sauce, pasta sauce. So we're going to let that come back to a boil. Going to reduce the heat, because we don't want it to fall apart in there. Remember, we're thinking dumpling, not pasta. And they're kind of soft and tender, hopefully, and they're going to want to fall apart if it's a rolling boil. So gentle boil, gentle simmer. Most cookbooks that I read say when they float to the top, they're done. I disagree. When I taste them, when they just float to the top, to me, I get a taste of raw flour. And so I like to let them simmer about 4 to 5 minutes after they float to the top. So we're going to let that sit and cook a bit, and meanwhile we'll take the other dishes that we prepared out of the oven, get them set up on the counter, and we'll be back when the gnocchi is done. Okay, the gnocchi is done. Probably took what would you say, 8, 9 minutes maybe to boil. They floated up to the top. I waited another 4 or 5 minutes. Taste tested it as it went along. That's the only way to really know for sure if it's done. And we're ready to, God, that looks good. We're ready to sauce it up.
Oh, that smells so
Put it
good.
on. Let's see, we'll give that a little Oh, these are so soft. It's like, yeah.
But they're holding their shape.
These
they're
are
not
going to be
breaking up.
melt in your mouth. Gnocchi. Now,
Time to say
plate it
goodbye
up.
to all these lovely people so we can have
Yeah.
our meal.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to let Lunenburg Public Access know that if you like the show, let them know. Let your friends know to watch it. Thank you for tuning in.
Fine.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Buon appetito.